Okay, everyone, after you finish this row, what we're going to do is we're going to create the opening in the back of the cap for our hat reducer. If you want to sew the hat reducer in. If you want the cap completed all the way around, you don't need the hat reducer, then you won't do what I'm about to do. You'll just continue making the rows without having to clip your yarn at this point and begin to create this opening so that when you sew in your hat reducer, the opening will be available at the back of the ball cap for you to adjust the sizing if you need to. So from here, we're going to do what we've been doing. We're going to slip stitch into the top chain on our chain stitch. Just do your slip stitch. And if you want to create the opening at the back of the cap for the hat reducer, then we're going to chain one and we're going to cut our yarn here. So we can count off the spacing that we're going to need for it. And we're going to choose where we want to put it. Just like that. I made mine at the back of the cap. And I included this in the middle count, and I'll show you here. I used my raised stitches to do my counting. So I started it at the raised stitch here, counted one, and I ended it at the raised stitch here. So we're going to have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 raised stitches that we're going to use. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to use my stitch markers to mark where I'm going to begin and end as I'm creating the opening. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this will be my fourth one. There. And it doesn't matter to me where you want to start, if you want to start with this stitch or if you want to start with this stitch. And we're just going to reconnect the yarn. And I take the yarn and I put it along the top of the stitching because I'm going to crochet the tail in that I left on that one. Okay, and this round we're going to create half double crochets. So we need to collect the yarn or yarn over, go into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Oops. And we're just going to continue the, shredded my yarn. Let's go back through and collect the rest of that. Sorry about that, you guys. Let me just collect this back up on the hook. There we go. And let's pull her through there. All right. And we're going to do the same thing until we get to this stitch marker. So it's half double crochets all the way around till you get to this stitch marker. You're going to create a half double crochet into the same stitch, and we're going to turn and go back in the other direction, and I'll meet you there for what that stitch will be, because that won't be a half double crochet. So don't get ahead of me. So I'll see you at this stitch marker. All right. We are going to, excuse me, we are going to chain 2, turn, and now we are going to work in between the stitches. This is our last row of double crochet, and we're going to double crochet in between the stitches, in the spaces in between the stitching. You're going to do this all the way until you get to the other side, and I will meet you there. All the way around. Okay, so I have 5 rows, and I'm just stopping here to size the visor because I'm creating the pocket that it'll fit into. So let's count the rows here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side. So that's 5 rows. Grab your visor real quick, and you're going to slide your visor in and spread it out to make sure that the yarn's going to stretch to what you need it to be as you build the rows out to cover up the visor. Okay, so continue, keep going. You're going to end up probably doing another 10 rows, roughly. When we get to 15, we'll resize it again. Or actually, let's get to 14 rows. When we get to 14 rows, we'll resize it again, because then we'll start to do a decrease to capture the curve on the end. So do another 9 rows. And when you get your 9 rows done, I'll meet you there and we'll start the decrease to capture the edge of the front of the bill. All right, see you there. Okay, so what I have here is 14 rounds of single crochet for the bill. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, forgot the first one, 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So what I'll do here is just make sure the sizing of the bill. What helps me is I kind of fold it a little bit, stick it in, and then I press it down to expand all the way, because what I want is for the edge that I cut to go all the way up to where I started the brim of the hat. Okay. And when you stick this in, because of the U shape of the hat, you're going to have some space here. So you're going to end up pulling your yarn to eat up that space. And that's going to let you know how many remaining rounds you may have to make to get the hat to finally close up on both sides. This side come up and this side come up to meet so that you can sew them together. Okay, so it looks like we're going to do about maybe 4 or 5 rounds of decreases. Get this to come and start to close around the edge so that we can begin to sew. So let's start with 4 rounds of decreases in order to accomplish that. And this is how we're going to do our decreases. What we need to do is find the actual corner on this side and the actual corner on this side, because we're only going to decrease in the corners. So what I do is I look for that corner stitch, the turn stitch, probably about right there for me. And you just look for that on your hat. I put a stitch marker there. To mark that corner, because I'm going to decrease on that stitch. Find the other corner stitch here. And for me, it's probably going to be this stitch. I'm going to put a stitch marker there. So I mark my corner stitches, so as I come around, I know right above this stitch marker is where I'm going to end up doing my decrease. Let me relook at that. Yeah. Okay. So here we are back at this stitch. So the stitch before the corner, before the marker, and the stitch after is where I'm going to decrease. So I need to take that stitch out, because this is a single crochet decrease. Grab there, go into that stitch after the stitch marker, bring up a loop, and pull through both. That creates that stitch decrease that we need to happen in the corners so that this will begin to curve. And then just continue to do your single crochets until you get to the stitch before the next stitch marker. And you're going to single crochet decrease in the stitch after, bypassing this stitch or whatever stitch you have marked to identify your corner. Okay? And then after you complete those 4 rows of decreases, we'll meet up and resize the visor again. All right, see you there. Okay, so I have 16 rounds all total. I have 14 straight rounds, and then I have 4 reduction rounds. So what I'll do is I'll take my visor, bend it just a little bit so it can get inside of the bill that I created, and I'm going to push the edges down until they meet the first row created for the bill, and then I press down and lay it flat because I want to judge the open space from here to here, and I want to eat up as much of this space as I possibly can. So I'm going to end up pulling the yarn until it comes to the top of the bill, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side because I want those 2 rows to meet. So as I do my stitching to close the bill, it'll stretch it and eat up some of this empty space right here. So you just kind of have to play with it, pull it a little bit. It's not going to hurt it at all. If you can't get it to where it'll come over the edge of the bill on both sides so that you can close it, then create another round for yourself and just judge it that way. Excuse me. Continue to create decreasing rounds until you're able to get it over. Don't do too many because, again, you're stretching the yarn to kind of eat up some of the empty space back here. If you create enough to where you can close it, you'll have this empty spot and it'll be a droopy bill because you'll have all this excess space created. So continue to do that. If it's enough, excuse me, again, if it's enough to close the bill, then you're done with creating rounds for the bill. And then I'll take this out. Before I put the bill in, I'll go back and sew down or tack down my hat reduction band or my hat reduction band, sizing band. And I just sew this edge down completely, and I'll sew the bottom, along the bottom. I leave the top open. I'll sew down the bottom here to about right there, and then wherever there's a pin, I sew the length of that pin. Tack it down there. I'll skip over to the next one, tack it down there, skip over to the next one, tack it down there. Same thing here. Well, we're at the end here. So I'll sew all the way to the end, and I'll sew up to keep this edge right here in place. So So I'll sew from here to here, and then I'll sew from here to here to keep the strap in place. If you want to tack the entire thing down, you're more than welcome to. If you want to sew here and then just put a dollet, sew here and put a dollet in between each one, you can. It's up to you. However you want to do it, it's fine. And then I'll go back, and that's when I'll sew in my bill. So what I'll do is tack this in real quick, and then I'll come back to meet you so that we can put the bill back in, and I'll show you how I close off the bill. All right? Meet you there. Okay, so I've tacked in my sizing strip, and all these loose ends, of course, I'll work them in, sew them in when I'm done. But now we're going to replace the bill and make sure I guide it up to the first row. Of the actual bill that I crocheted. And now I'm going to stretch the yarn so that it meets the edge. And let's take my stitch marker out here. All right. And this is just going to be an easy peasy slip stitch to close the bill. So I'll go here, do that slip stitch so I can come around, grab this one, and I'm just matching it up on the other side. Oops. Oh. First couple of stitches tend to be the toughest to navigate. And then it tends to get easier to do as you get further and further along here. All right. And you're just going to slip stitch across. It'll either get easier or be a pain in the butt. All right. Okay. I'm not going to bore you with me struggling to get these. But you see what we're doing. We're going to slip stitch across. And then the final round is where I end up putting a single crochet stitch all the way around the hat. That's optional. You don't have to do that after you close your bill and cut your yarn. You can sew in your yarn remnants and the hat is done. Or you can rejoin me and I'll show you the single crochet stitch. It's real simple to do around the entire circumference of the hat, to include these edges, this here, and the edge here. And then go around and come around the other side of the bill, and you can cut the yarn at that point and sew it in. I'll be back to show you the single crochet, and then I'll come back again to show you the final hat. And hopefully yours will look very similar to, if not exactly, like mine. See you soon. For those who may not know how I attach my yarn when I come up, I just go into that second stitch. So here's one, we're going two. Grab the yarn, pull it through. I'm going to do a stitch there. And I'm going to pull this tail up and sew it in as I work my single crochets. And it's just that easy. And I'm actually working under both legs of the stitch as I go around. See? It's just that easy. So finish this and I'll meet you on the other side where we're going to go up the first part of the bill over here. Okay, so we made it to the rim of the hat and I'm in the second stitch from the rim. So I'm going to go into the first stitch, pull up the yarn, pull it through, and I'm going to go into what I like to call the trail stitch. It's in between these rivets when you're coming around the hat. Pull up the yarn, go through all 3 loops, which it creates the decrease. And then I'm going to find the next rivet and go back to my single crochets. Find the next rivet, single crochet, find the next rivet, single crochet, and I'll continue to work the rivets in between these until I get to the bill where I actually have the slip stitches, and then I'll work underneath the slip stitches to create the single crochet. And when I get through with that and come back around to this side, I'll find the rivets in between these stitches until I get down to the last one. And I'll stop on the last one right here because I'm going to do that same decrease that I did in this corner in this corner. Okay, so hopefully you were able to see that. I'll work in between the rivets. I'll work the rivets in between the stitches, the rows here. I'll work that rivet that's in between there. If you go to each row, it's the stitch that's in between these two. I call it the rivet. It'll be almost to the inside of the hat, but you'll be able to locate it. And I'll create my single crochet on that. And then I'll come here to the rim and I'll work underneath the slip stitches, single crochet. And when I get on this side, I'll work in between these stitches, find the rivet until I get down to here. And I'll do the same thing. I'll grab the rivet, this stitch, decrease, and then I'll continue to do my single crochets all the way around the rim. Okay, but I will show you this one. So when you get on this side down toward the bottom, join me and I'll show you how I bridge this and continue. Okay, so we're here to the other side of the bill and to our final stitches. So you're going to leave one on the bill to work in, pull up the yarn. You're going to grab the one from the corner, pull up the yarn, and I'm going to take this opportunity to sew in part of the tail there. Yarn over and pull through. And your final stitch here. Remember, we left 2. 1, 2. So our final stitch is here. I'm going to yarn over and pull through. And then I'm going to slip stitch in the first single crochet on this side that I made. So we'll slip stitch into it, and chain 1. There. And that's how we end that side. Now we've gotten our single crochet rim on the hat. We can cut our yarn now. I'm going to cut a nice long tail because I'm going to sew it in gaps wherever they may be, if there are any. And I crocheted in some of the tails, so I'll clean up this piece. So now that only leaves me these two that I have to sew in. All right, so there's our hat. We'll sew in our tails. But to kind of give you an idea, and what I do, I'll share this with you. What I do with this right here, these, is I tack them down to this. So I'll put 1 or 2 dollars of yarn, a sewing dot, and tack those down so that they don't fly out. But that's it. We'll sew in our tails and our hat's ready to go. Alrighty. Thank you for joining me.